rather than using the clinker method with overlapping plates. A rivet squad consists of 3 men and 2 boys. On one side of the plate, the heater boy heats the iron rivets on a portable hearth. Using tongs, he throws the rivet to the catch boy, who places it in the hole for the holder up, who holds the rivet head in place with the head of a holding up hand. Every plate had to be riveted in place, which was partially mechanized and partially done by hand by riveting squads. On the other side of the plate, 2 men work with smaller riveting hammers to fit the rivet tightly into a pre-punched hole, striking it in rapid succession. For the tings in the double bottom, the work of riveting can be very hard, and only light comes from candy. Stray pieces of hot metal often fly around, so riveters have to wear a muffler to protect their necks. Riveters are paid by the number of rivets they insert. The best teams use 1 left and 1 right-handed riveter. And with dozens of teams working, it's definitely a catch. Above, you can see the steamer decks being riveted in place. These are not intended to strengthen the ship, but they are rigid enough to resist the force of the hull being hit by high seas. They also arch slightly upwards, so that water falling onto them will drain overboard. At the stern of the ship, we pass over the massive castings that will support Titanic's rudder. These frames have to be enormously strong to withstand the force of the rudder turning in heavy seas. Nearly launch day. Titanic's enormous weight will soon be transferred from the supporting blocks to the launchways that will slide with the ship into the sea. The launchways have been greased with an inch of tallow and oil. Workmen will shortly risk serious injury by knocking away vertical wooden props on the compression beneath the hull. At the moment of launch, the sliding ways will be released by hydraulic rams. It's the evening of the 30th of May 1911. Tomorrow, Harland and Wolff will launch Titanic, the heaviest object ever moved by man. Up to 100,000 people will gather on the banks of the River Lagan to watch. The Arl gantry has been decked out with signal flags spelling good luck. And tonight, the whole city is celebrating the pride of Belfast.
That it, is it?
Thank you for joining us here.
This is where they launched the Titanic. First class, is it? Where was it? Kate Winslet and that's where they met by the clock, wasn't it? When Kate Winslet went down this stowage.
That's amazing. Now we're running back down the deck towards the forecastle. Oh, that is incredible. It's a great shot. There's a hatch. Brockwood prefers to go under the surface. What are those? Capstans. For winding ropes and cables. Let me rotate the ROV. Now we're looking back down the anchor chain. Unbelievable. It's pretty cool, huh? That's a strange box lying there. A heater. From first class. It's fallen out of place. You'd only get third class in this part of the ship. Hang on, I'll go in close. It's so ornate. Here's a cargo crane. Hard to get the scale. The base would be about 10 feet high. You can see the boom where it would be stored flat on the deck. Something's fallen across that one. That's the foremast. It's incredible how it's just still preserved. Just 100 years later. Another hatch. So I've turned now to track down the foremast. What's that hole? That's the entry to the crow's nest. Wow. That's where they saw the iceberg from. Is that what I think it is? Hang on, let me steady the ROV and I'll move in. Captain Edward Smith's private bathtub, with plumbing for freshwater and seawater, believe it or not. What are those? Memorial plaques. There are several of those in the hull now. And that's a telemotor. What's the telemotor for? It's part of the hydraulic system that connected the ship's wheel to the steering gear and the rudder. It's still shiny. Bronze and brass. They don't rust. We're about a third of the way along the hull now. I'll turn and zoom in. Can you see that hole? What is that? That's where the forward funnel was. The one that collapsed. Maybe 3 minutes before the end. Coming at the funnel opening from another angle. That's a water tank. Still sitting there. Incredible. It looks almost untouched. A double-action, well-in-quadrant lifeboat deck, designed to swing the boat well over the side of the ship. So you were okay if you could get into a lifeboat? Mm-hmm. What is that? That's one of the ship's boilers. It is gigantic. So I'm over the debris field now. This is off the side of the ship. Off the side, and here we're behind it. So much of it. It's huge.